Becky and I do have flint and steel kits. Like somebody said, they're hard to make, and so you should make them. Well, we figured that one out a long time ago already. And so since I'm into blacksmithing a little bit, we make them. And if you're interested in a kit, talk to Becky. I don't think we're going to take them and set them up over there with the other booths. Just come see us over at our tent. We sell them for $30, and that includes a leather pouch, a tin, a tinder bundle, the striker, of course, and a piece of rock, and a little booklet to tell you how to do it, and the other information that we gave you. So if you're interested in that, see Becky. There's also, besides the faith book that I've written, there's another book on wilderness survival called God's People, the Wilderness, and the End Times that I put together. It has not been published yet. I'm working on that, but God had me do this tour and said, let me sit there and reformat it to get it printed. I have a printer all lined up, but I need to reformat it to a different page size. Anyway, in the meantime, if you're interested in a PDF that I can email it to you, make a donation to our ministry and we'll send that to you. You can either donate by giving it to us, or since we're here, or you could also send us a check or donate through the PayPal link on our website. So those are the options there if you're interested in that.
Or if they already give us a donation, because some people did, I think, just let us know if you'd like the book and we already did.
Sure. You have our permission to copy this off. Some people have done this. Somebody came and showed me a copy that somebody had printed out. We're okay with that. It's formatted for full sheet to make that easy for you to do that. I wish I had hard copy, but I don't even have a hard copy myself, so I don't have anything there to sell you. But we're working on it. And I'm also getting well, that's volume 1 actually. I have another volume 2 in the works in my head it's more on primitive skills. And I'm also sensing the need to write something up like what we were sharing you about the no buy, no sell lifestyle. But that hasn't happened yet. That's still embryonic as far as the writing stage. I want to read you something in closing here. If you have the booklet and want to follow along, you can. It's on page 37. This is from volume 2 of Testimonies to the Church. It's entitled An Impressive Dream. It says, at Battle Creek in August of 1868, I dreamed of being with a large body of people. A portion of this assembly started out prepared to journey. We had heavily loaded wagons. As we journeyed, the road seemed to ascend. On one side of this road was a deep precipice, on the other a high, smooth white wall, like the hard finish upon plastered rooms. As we journeyed on, the road grew narrower and steeper. In some places it seemed so very narrow we concluded we could no longer travel with the loaded wagons. We then loosed them from the horses, took a portion of the luggage from the wagons and placed it upon the horses and journeyed on horseback. Oh, how appropriate. As we progressed, the path still continued to grow narrow. We were obliged to press close to the wall to save ourselves from falling off the narrow road down the steep precipice. As we did this, the luggage on the horses pressed against the wall and caused us to sway towards the precipice. We feared that we should fall and be dashed in pieces on the rocks. We then cut the luggage from the horses and it fell over the precipice. We continued on horseback, greatly fearing as we came to the narrower places in the road, that we should lose our balance and fall. At such times a hand seemed to take the bridle and guide us over the perilous way. As the path grew more narrow, we decided we could no longer go with safety on horseback, and we left the horses and went on foot, in single file, one following the footsteps of another. At this point, small cords were let down from the top of the pure white wall, and these we eagerly grasped to aid us in keeping our balance upon the path. As we traveled, the cord moved along with us. The path finally became so narrow that we concluded we could travel more safely without our shoes. So we slipped them from our feet and went on some distance without them. Soon it was decided we could travel more safely without our stockings, and these were removed, and we journeyed on with bare feet. And if you're following along, here's the key place I want to bring us to. We then thought of those who had not accustomed themselves to privations and hardships. Where were such now? They were not in the company. At every change, some were left behind, and those only remained who had accustomed themselves to endure hardships. The privations of the way only made these more eager to press on to the end. Please finish reading that. I'm not going to do it just for the sake of time. But the question here is, how far up the path are you planning to go? Oh, I should have warned you that was a trick question.
Yeah.
Think about the parable of the 10 virgins. The beginning of the parable, it just says, here's 10 girls going to the wedding. Okay, how far up the path were they all planning to go?
All the way.
All the way. But only 5 of them made it because only 5 were prepared to go all the way. 5 of them were not prepared to go the distance. And so how far up this path are we planning to go? It's more important to ask how far are we prepared to go. We might be planning to go all the way. Well, the foolish virgins did that much. But they weren't prepared to go all the way. If we're going to make it all the way, we need to be prepared for that. Notice what it said here about what to do to prepare. It says, we then thought of those who had not accustomed themselves, those who weren't used to privations and hardships. Where were such now? They were not in the company. At every change, some were left behind. And those only remained who had accustomed themselves to endure hardships. The privations of the way only made these more eager to press on to the end.